Yes, this is the Pro Driver back with another video, and this is for all of my cut buddies, all of my cutlass owners who are interested in building a 403 motor for their cutlass. I pretty much favor the 78 through 80 models, G bodies, but for the 81 through 88 guys, you are also included. And this is a video with all of the specs and power upgrades options for the 403, because I read on the internet and a lot of comments through forums that it's a POS motor, and that originally come from guys who try to put 500 or 600 horsepower in an engine that was never intended for that. If you want to build a racing motor, you need to buy racing components. But anyway, the 77 through 77, 77 through 79 O's Fold 3 went into a host of BOP cars. You know, Buick, Olds, Pontiac, Trans Am, and it went into some GMC motorhomes. So right there, that removes the POS label. It's not a piece of shit. As far as the specs, it has a 4.351 bore, 3.385 stroke, 4 A heads, small heads, you know, but they do have 2-inch intake valves, 1.5 exhaust valves, deep 83cc heads, about 170 runners. Cam spec is the same as an 066 Pontiac cam. 8-to-1 compression with deep 24.25cc disc pistons. 750 Q-jet. They made 185 horsepower at 3,600 and 320 foot-pounds at 2,200. So it was a torque motor. It was never built for higher RPM, even though with that bore and stroke combination, it's capable of revving. It's an over square bore. But RPM, you know, that stands for ruins people's motors. Haha. Anyway, the specs on the cam, on 196 duration, this is at 50 thousandths. I had got two specs, 196 degrees or 200 degrees on the intake, 206 degrees, 210 degrees on the exhaust on a 112 load sep with a very short 400 thousandths lift, intake and exhaust. One of them had it a thousandths more on the intake, whatever. And for naturally aspirated power upgrades, no power adders, no nitrous, no turbos, no blowers. You're gonna have to increase your compression ratio. You're gonna have to increase airflow, reduce frictions, and have more duration and higher lift. And also bore and stroke. And stroke is more horsepower related than bore. That is a truism, not a false. And here are the options. Option 1, you can put your early model 350 heads on your stock Fold 3. And the 350 heads, as you know, all of them are indicated by numbers for the small block O's. You got your 5s, 6 and 7 heads and 7A heads. I have it here, the 68 model 350 heads are number 5s, and they have 68 cc's. 69, the number 6 heads have 70 cc's. 70, 71 heads are number 7s, and the 1972 heads are the 7A's, and they have 69 cc's. And I got this information from Dick Miller when they did a piece in Hot Rod about building the 403. And I trust his data more so than an internet guru. And with this option, using 350 heads on a standard bore 403 with the stock pistons. And a little side note here, if you're going to use the 350 heads, you're going to have to get the head bolts machined so they'll fit a 403 head bolt, which is larger than the 350, and enlarging the dowel pin so it can fit a 403 head. Or sort of enlarging the dowel pin on the 350 head so it can fit on the 403 block. My mistake. And with the compression calculator from Summit Racing, which you got to have all your specs, you know, your bore, your stroke, gasket thickness, cc of the head, cc of the piston, if your block been milled or not. And this just standard bore, zero deck, 041 gasket with the stock 403 piston with a 68 cc head. Compression ratio will be 9.07 to 1. 70 cc head to be 8.91 to 1. And that's not even a quarter point ratio difference, so you're in the ballpark. Option 2 is getting the Keith Black KB405 flat top pistons. And they'll cost you $454 from Summit. And those pistons have 6 cc dish, so it's considered a flat top. And I did all of the calculation with a 4A head, 3-angle valve job, unmilled, 041 gasket. And also with those pistons, they have a weird type of overbore. It's either 24 thousandths over or 39 thousandths over. And 24 thousandths will net you a 4.375 bore. And with that piston, it'll net you 9.32 compression. On the 039 piston, which will be a 4390 bore, will net you a 9.37 to 1 compression ratio. But you got to spend $454 for those pistons, which will be a lot less cheaper than finding some 350 heads that are buildable and then having them built, machined, and yada yada yada. Option 3, which is my option, which I always have in the making. I got the 7A 350 heads, and I'm getting the KB 039 pistons. And I will have 10.37 to 1 compression. So that's nearly a 2.5 compression bump up. And 1 point of compression will give you about 4 horsepower gain. No more than that. And milling your heads 7 thousandths will net you 1 cc for just about any small block. Big blocks, 5 thousandths to get you 1 cc. Another side note about this 403, it has 300 plus foot-pounds between 1,700 and 3,000 RPM. So in that range, it constantly has 300 pound-foot of torque. Yeah. Now the last option, option 4, if your pocketbooks are very wide, you can opt for aluminum heads from Olds Rocket Parts. They have a 64 cc head, according to their website. 64 cc head, already been drilled for 1/2-inch bolts, ready to bolt on. It was about $1,300, $1,400. RocketRacingHeads.com, and then your Elderbrock heads. But there's one thing about aluminum heads, You can't use your factory fuel pump. You have to get them notched. You have to get those heads notched in order to make your fuel pump work. But this is just a quick video of just specs for a 403 build. And in my next video, once I get all my parts, I got a couple of more parts boxes to order. Then we're gonna go into an in-depth video with the parts, part numbers, and I can show you visually my package for this 403 that's going to be a sleeper when I put it in my next cutlass body. If y'all visit my other videos, the 1979 Cutlass Supreme, the Offspring, which I have a bone stock 403 in that body, but we're going to find another one and build that motor. And it's going to be a stout sleeper, pump gas, compression friendly daily driver motor. Until the next time, pro driver with the 403 old specs and power gains. We'll talk to you cut buddies next time. 10 damn 4.